And we're live. Right, so we're live. Everybody, we're live. Yes, we're live. And ShannonMac should be here somewhere. I think he just popped out for a second.
Hello, world.
Oh, there he is.
Here I am.
Let me get rid of Turkey because I was working on that earlier. And we're not doing Turkey today.
Aw.
Turkey sandwich. Valentine's. No, which one is it? I think it's that one. Buglies. Okay, that's the text that we were playing around with. Oh, so yes, if you've derived from the bug text, let me just check, see how many people derived from that. That was supposed to have been a little contest within a contest, but we kind of got sidetracked and forgot to do it. So, IMVU. Derivables. Homepage messages have been fun since starting doing these. You all buglies. Derivations. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got 5. So basically everybody that's entered will get 1,000 credits. That's the best we can do. So that'll cover the costs of you deriving and whatnot. So that's Laura, Frenzy, DJ Deb, Jimmy and Silverbeard or Silverbead. You each get 1,000 credits. So I'll get that sorted out once we're done here, and then get you your little prizes. No, that's fine. We understand that you don't do it for the credits. Why isn't IMVU open? Could have sworn I had IMVU open. IMVU. So let's take a quick look at those before we start, whilst try it. So this is Laura's. I think that's Jinx. Haha, you see, there's those lines that we were talking about before. That's why you have to UV map things properly. So that's Laura's, Jinx's. This is Frenzy's. Ooh, it's got holes all over it. So if you're one of those people that are holophobic, look away now. This is DJ Debs. Ooh, very colourful. You see, I mean, this is the interesting thing, is that the stretching looks quite interesting with Deb's version, but for others it looks quite odd because it creates a lot of striping. But the striping for Deb's looks quite interesting. So although it is a question that you have to UV map your text, your objects properly, there are instances, depending on the textures, where, I mean, this looks like, what do they call those things? Licorice all sorts? Nom nom. So that's Deb's. And then this is silver beads. Ooh, candy. See there again as well. The striping that happens works. Although it's gone a bit iffy there. But again, if you... There are some times when that sort of UV mapping works, and other times it doesn't. So that's silver beads. And then this is Jimmy's. And that's Jimmy's. Oh, Jimmy's is the one with the ladybugs. Bug. So nicely done, everyone. So yes, you all get 1,000 credits. I'll close this so that it's not Fifi and the flower. Ooh, there's quite a few people in today. Where's ShannonMac gone? Has he disappeared again?
No, I just muted myself.
All right.
So you wouldn't hear me drinking or other things.
No, I wouldn't worry about that.
How many people are there?
22.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Do you have a breakdown of all their names too?
We have in the chat, we have DJ Deb, Jack Mesh, me, Hot Rod, you, Aislin's in, Liana's in, Briggs in, Aislinn mentioned Frenzy's in, Gaff's in.
Cool.
Nicely done. So it looks like...
And you can't see who the other people are. That just shows.
Yeah, if people type in chat, then you can see them.
Okay.
Obviously, but everyone else is lurking in the shadows.
No problem with that. No problem with that whatsoever.
Right. So. I guess with the bugs out of the way, we can continue with what we were doing. So, just a quick recap. We created, we added some text. Oh, it's super tiny. That's super duper tiny. So we added some text. Edit mode. Changed it to whatever. The word is love, but we are doing something slightly special with it, as we'll see. So once you've got your word or your text, just rotate it upright, or depending on how you want it to appear on screen. So that's still text, You can change your fonts, or change the font that's being used with object data properties or font properties. So this gives us this panel. We want to change regular, so click the folder icon and that will load up or browse to wherever your font folder is. It's a system folder, so it may be hidden, so you may have to go through the whole unhide system files and whatnot. You can change the preview once you have got your fonts directly listed. Use these three icons at the top. You've got list, details, and then thumbnails. This will give you a preview of your font. Make a selection, left click, and then just load, and it automatically changes the font. So once you've got that, next step is just to extrude it. So left click drag or just type a value. And then once you've got that, you want to create it, you want to convert it to a mesh. So right click, object, convert to, and then we want mesh. And in the panel that appears bottom left, we want to keep the original. So you'll get this effect appearing, which means that we have a duplicate. Move that to another layer, which is what we did. So you've now got a mesh which is very, very dense. So before you do anything to this, select everything. So that's the A key, or select, deselect all. And then we need to rem doubles or remove doubles, because the way that this as a mesh works, it's split the mesh into sections, and we need to close all those gaps. So we select everything, remove doubles, and that will alter the shading of the mesh a bit as well. And once you've done that, you need to add a modifier. You want decimate. And then what you can do here, which is important because you want to reduce the amount of mesh information that's visible, and just left click drag this input field and reduce the density of the mesh. Or you can type a value. So let's just do 0.2. And it suitably reduces the mesh and makes it much less complicated. And it's worth doing because you can't tell the difference between the two versions anyway. And then once you've got that, apply it, and then you can start doing the rest of the setup, which is adding materials and textures and whatnot, which is kind of where we're at with Shannon at the moment. So let me just save this so I have a copy of it. Save as. Yes, as Shannon is saying in chat, you won't be able to type. So if you've got any questions for Shannon that are related to what we're doing, ask them now, whilst he has the grey matter to answer.
Forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Blender scares me too, but I have JazzCat guiding me.
Yeah,
Jack.
so yeah, I mean, that's as JackMesh, JackMesh says, Blender still scares me with all the buttons. Nonetheless, I feel like I've been progressing a lot in the past few years. And yes, yes it is. There's lots of buttons, but I mean, if you ignore the buttons to an extent and just focus on the things that you actually need to be clicking on, rather than getting confused and scared by all the stuff that's available, then you should be fine. And as Shannon just said, this is one of the reasons why we're kind of doing this with Shannon, because he's completely new, not just to Blender, but to creating generally. He's not done. He's not only has he not done any creating, he hasn't even used his computer for doing any of this sort of stuff. So he's learning two things, in the sense of he's learning how to use his computer to use Blender to be able to create. So if he can do it, then I guess just about anybody can.
Except Laura.
Yeah, well, yes.
Or Comrade, I mean.
Conrad, yes, Conrad.
Chairman Meow.
Conrad Meow, yes.
She wanted to be here today, but I think she got pulled away by some other things, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah.
we can still trash talk her. I don't want to. I don't want to deny trash talking. You know.
Well, it's you know, it's not like she listens to any of this stuff after the fact, is it really? Nudge, nudge. Right, so let's continue. So if you share your screen, and then we can get that up.
I was typing to one of my many fans here, if I do so humbly.
Yeah.
All right, let's start sharing. And then I will not be able to type once this begins. So they've had their chance. All right. Boom. All right, we are sharing. Trying to get the latest.
Right, so what we've got on screen is Shannon's.
Let's pull this up.
Yeah, Shannon's screen.
Coming up. There we go.
So there we go. So this is as far as we got last time. So what we had, what I need to do as well, actually, whilst I remember, is, so what we were doing, right, so it's probably best to use that one. See, so you probably won't be able to see this because I'm not sharing it on Zoom, but it's going out on stream. So what we were doing was getting Shannon to select a set of edges around the mesh so that they could be marked as a seam, a UV seam, which basically creates a split or a virtual split in the mesh, so that this, just paintbrush, so that all this green area is split off to its own UV, which is what we ended up, and this is done on both sides, so front and back, and then we create a split on the side, this section, which allows the UV map to lay out flat, which is what we have with Shannon's UVs at the moment. What we could do is being able to draw over the screen. That would be a useful feature. So what we did, we had to do some correction to the mesh as well, because of the way that the font split itself up when it was converted to a mesh. We had a couple of extra faces that we needed to get rid of because they were interrupting or interfering with the UV map. So once we cleaned those up, we were able to get these more formal shapes. So right, so let's continue then. So if you move the mouse over to the left hand side, so we're in the UV image editor on the left.
Okay.
And then we have island selection mode active. So if you right click one of the L shapes that you see in the UV image editor,
Here,
Yep.
the shaded areas.
Yeah, right click.
Okay. Right clicked.
Yeah.
Right click again.
Oh, hang on. Are we doing the whole... I'm not seeing your... Oh, there we go. There's a bit of a delay.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Oh, that again.
You haven't got like 100 browser tabs open again, have you?
I have, just for the record, only 51, and that's because IT had to shut my stuff down and do a security thing. And like I shut it down normally, and then he opened Chrome and he like ignored my restores, and I'm like, no.
Oh boy. That's seriously worse than Laura. Right,
It
so...
wasn't Laura. It was someone else, but yeah, that's my excuse.
right, so what we're going to do is just reorientate the L so that it makes a bit more sense. So we're going to rotate it around so that it's right side up. So with it selected,
Okay.
if you press...
So are we talking about on the left side or the
yes,
right
on the
side?
left, on the left side, on that
Okay.
that section that you
So
have
like
highlighted.
this area
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So with that right selected, right click, press the R key, R for Robert or robot.
Okay. It was pressed, and I see some blacks. Oh, look at that. Ah. Should I twirl it?
I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing it catch up yet.
I just turned the L around.
Oh, there we go.
That.
Yeah. So if you hold the Control key down whilst you're doing that, it'll snap to the grid.
Oh, so I can like line up where I want?
Yeah. So that's it. Perfect. So left click and set that in place once you've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right click the other L that's lying on its side, I guess, in the above.
Here?
Yep. Right click.
Okay. Then R, I think it was.
Yep. R for robot and then rotate. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, so I'm not quite sure.
It's like a reverse L.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So hold the Control key down to snap to the grid so that you snap to increments, and then once you've got it upright, left click and set it in place. Perfect.
Okay.
Right, so press the G key and move that L that you've just rotated so that it's sitting on the same baseline as the other L that you moved previously or you rotated previously. And you want the two end bits, the kick up, the serif sections. That's it.
Okay. How's that?
Excellent.
I just put them like
yeah,
opposite
no,
each other.
that's perfect. That's perfect. Right.
Meshing is hard work.
Yeah. Now, yeah, but we did all the really hard work last week or last session. So, right.
Getting worried about the time as I talk about you.
Yeah, exactly. So, right click the bottom lozenge that's on the left.
Lozenge.
Yeah, the two big sections of UV. That's it. So right click that. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And
Is
then
another
move.
R?
Press the G key for this and move it to the top of the map or the texture space that we've got.
Like about there. Top left.
Hang on. I have to wait for you to catch up.
Oh, okay. Do you see it on the Zoom too at all, or are you?
Yeah. It's no. I'm watching it on Zoom. It's on Zoom. There's a delay for us on Zoom. So.
Okay.
Yep. Now left click to place that.
Okay.
Now, right click one of the L's.
Okay.
Oops. Hang on. Just right click just to release what you've.
All right. I right clicked it a few times. It still stayed highlighted.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just because of the delay. When you say you're doing something, I'm seeing something else happen on screen. So
Okay.
right. Yeah. So right-click one of the L's and then shift right-click the other one.
Right-click one of the L's.
Yep.
Done.
And then shift right-click one of the other L. Yep.
Shift right-click another one. Okay.
And then press the G key and move both of them so they are both inside the texture space. So you've got a bit of the outer L, or the L on the right is over the edge. We want that inside.
Right. I just placed it. You can tell me if it's in a good spot.
Right, hang on, let me catch up. Still catching up.
Okay.
And it's still catching up. There we go. That's a long delay.
Yeah. You're not downloading, are you?
No, I'm it's just streaming.
Okay.
Yeah, so that what you can do with that is if you move the L's so that they are so they butt up to the edge of the texture, then that should be fine.
Okay. Do you see where they're placed now?
Yes.
Or is it still loading?
Yes. So you've essentially got about 1.5 rows of black and grey grid. So if you move it to the edge.
All right. So when you say the edge, do you want me to move them to the left or the right? Both of them?
Oh, sorry, to the right. To the right.
All right. So I think that's left click to move.
Press the G key and then drag the selection.
I'll just put them over in the bottom right.
Yep.
Oh, no, that didn't work. G key. Let's go about like there. Control left click. All right, so it kind of moved a little to the left after I hit control. Do I want to get it in the very corner there? Or?
Oh, yes. Yeah. What we want to avoid is having any areas of the UV map overlapped or overextending the edge of the texture, which is defined by the grid. So you don't have to be absolutely up to the edge. It's just that you want to try and optimize your space as much as you can.
How's that?
That looks fine.
Okay.
Yep, that looks fine. Jack mesh, yeah. We don't normally have delay issues with Zoom, but we have been having them in the past week or two, so we're not quite sure what's going on there. TeamSpeak and TeamViewer and all the other things are options, but there are various issues and concerns with using them. So IMVU prefer to use Zoom, which is what we're using, and normally it's okay, but for some reason it's been a bit slow for the past couple of sessions. We're not quite sure why.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so if you move the mouse over to the 3D view and then just middle click, twirl around the letter so that we can see what we've got.
Is that G again?
No, that's just middle mouse drag this because you're rotating the scene.
Oh, looking around.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a front view. Do we want to focus on the L, or are we looking at the whole thing?
Well, yes, you can do. So if you go down to View, the View menu, on the other side, you want the View menu that's associated with the 3D view, not the one that's associated with the image editor. That's it. And then you want View Selected.
Okay.
Up towards the top.
There we go.
That's it. And then just use your middle mouse and drag the scene around so that we can zoom around rotate around the selection. Yep, perfect. Oh, we've got a missing space there.
Yeah.
Right, so rotate around so that we see the backside. We want to see that white. Yep. So in the UV image editor on the left, Can you see just below where your mouse is right now? You've got letter L.
Mm-hmm.
Move the mouse to the left and left click the picture icon.
Okay.
And then left click letter L again.
Ah, there we go. Did we get the other side? Nope. Do we have to do it again?
No, that's fine. That just the letter L was already assigned to all the other faces. It just wasn't to those particular ones. That's fine.
Well, this
Excellent.
one on the other side is still off color. I don't know if it's showing on your screen. It was like
oh
the
no,
opposite.
that's fine. That's
Okay.
just indicating the active element that's selected. So when you make when you make a selection, you select everything essentially. So we've selected everything, but for Blender to do something, one of the objects needs to be the active element or the element of focus, because the manipulation can occur based on that element being selected. So you could manipulate the mesh based on that face that your mouse cursor is currently over, that looks to be shaded slightly different from the rest of the selection. So within Blender, something always has to be the active or focused element, the element of focus, for it to do whatever it needs to do. So that's why there's a difference between that face that your mouse is over on the diagonal versus the rest of the faces, which are, they are selected but they're not active. But the other face, the one face that we've got at the highlighted one, that looks a sort of it looks grayer than the other ones. That's the active selection.
Okay.
Right, so we're done with that letter.
Yay!
Right, so press the tab key.
The tab key.
Tab key, yeah, I'm going to get moving you on to using the shortcuts.
Wow. Pro tips.
Yeah. Pressing the tab key will toggle you or switch you from edit mode to object mode.
Oh. Good.
There we go. Right, so save the file, or save the version of the file.
Blender version 16. Okay. Save.
Oh, it could be. The delay might be because I'm watching. Have you got? Are you sharing just Blender, or are you sharing full screen, or because when you? Oh no, here it comes. Wow, that is a big
So when
delay.
I share on Zoom, you get to pick one screen.
Right. No, that's fine. That's fine. It's just that it's the delay again. It makes it look as if you're doing something that, you know, waiting for it to catch up.
Well.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that sounds like a Wi-Fi connection, right? Like how long it takes for the speed.
Yeah,
to get
possibly.
If it's a Zoom thing or what, right?
Possibly. Well, I'm hardwired, so I don't know what. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Right. So, if you right-click the heart shape in the 3D view.
All right. Let me move it a little.
Well, what we were going to do, what we could do is if you select something, you can then use the view menu, view selected, and it will automatically focus on that element.
Okay. Sorry, did you guys hear that very loud car that went by?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that's like through a window and a wall.
Yeah, that's loud.
That's how loud it was, and it's like 40 or 50 feet away.
Right.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's loud. Right, so press the tab key.
Edit mode. Dun, dun,
Switch
dun.
to edit mode.
Look at that.
Right. Don't do anything. I'm going to take a screen capture.
Okay.
Didn't we reduce the... Oh, we haven't reduced this one yet, have we? Didn't...
Well, we did tinker around with its size, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're talking about.
Right, okay. So uh, exit edit mode, so press the tab key again.
Okay.
I could have sworn we'd done this.
Thought we did. Well,
Not to worry.
We fooled around with the size.
Oh
I remember
no.
that.
Okay, I know what's going on. Right. We need to switch the layout to the default. So in the header that runs along the top of the application, where you can see it says file, blah blah blah, and then you've got UV editing.
Yep, here.
Yeah. So click the button that looks like a window and select default.
Ah, there we go.
Right. That's it. So on the right there, where it says add modifier.
Sorry, I was trying to shift it over, but add modifier. Okay.
Click the apply button.
Okay.
Right. Now if you tab into edit mode.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. So now from the view menu, do view selected. View. Not that one, the one above. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh,
Not the one at the top. The one that's associated with the 3D view. So move it to the left.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It changed. They got it on the top of each other there when we do it that way. Interesting. Bing. Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Each editor or area has that strip of buttons and things. That's called the header. And the options that are shown there are context sensitive, so they change depending on what area you are using. So in the most of them have a view and select menu, but not all of them. So they do change, but you want to look at the strip of buttons that runs along the bottom that's immediately below the active area that you're looking at. So in the 3D view, you've got your main 3D view where your heart is. On the left, we've got the tool shelf, and immediately below the 3D view, you've got all those buttons: view, select, add, mesh, edit mode, globe, and then the 3 selection buttons and a few other things. So anything to do with the 3D view appears in that strip.
Okay.
Right, so if you just zoom out a little bit, just a little bit, so that we can see the...
How's that?
That's good, yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if... in the... click the Add Modifier selector on the right there again. Yeah, left click that.
Okay.
And then add a decimate again.
Okay.
And then left click drag where it says ratio.
Ah, okay. That sounds more like it. What number are we going for?
Well, just left click drag and just see what the reduction.
Okay. There may be a delay still, so I'm...
Oh, okay. Cancel. Just deselect that. That's fine. Exit edit mode. So move the mouse over the 3D view. Tab key. There we go. That's right. So that's a bit too aggressive. So
Yeah, I just hit the tab key to get out of that. I don't
yeah,
know if
it's because we've got it just displaying in object mode only. So if you left click drag the slider in the ratio thing again and increase it,
there we go. I
right,
put it to about 0.73 so far.
reduce it to maybe 6-ish. Try that.
6.6.
Try 5.
5.
So left click drag and then about halfway.
5076.
Yeah, so 6. So if you you can actually type 6. So just type 0.6. Left click in there and then
Okay.
enter. That's it. Right, now you can go into edit mode. So mouse over the 3D view, press the tab key.
Did that do it?
Oh, we have to so cancel exit edit mode, tab key,
Okay.
or press the thingy, yeah, the selector.
Press it. What do we want? Object?
Oh, object mode, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was doing it when I did the tab key, even though I pressed there, but
Right. Left click the apply button in the modifier that we just adjusted.
just clicking apply.
Right, just twirl around that object just to make sure that we've assigned it to everything. So left, middle click, drag, that's it. And did it go to...
I don't see anything shaded, which is a good sign.
Yep, that's fine. Right, so edit mode.
Okay.
Right, I'm just going to take a screenshot.
Okay. Am I going to be looking at this in a moment?
Yes, yes, you will be, yeah.
So I have to stop sharing so you can share it with me later.
Yeah.
I will stop sharing now.
Right, so I will share. Seriously, Zoom? Honestly. Right. Share screen.
Is this where we like get to hear you cursing out Zoom
Yes.
and it's forever recorded?
Yes.
And then it goes viral like a
Yes.
week later?
Yes. Right, so you should be able to see my screen.
Yes.
Right.
I see a lot of green.
Oh, well, that's the old.
Yellow border.
Yeah, that's the old.
Ah, there we go.
Right, so this one might be a little bit tricky because the edges are a bit more compact and close together, but essentially need you to do the same thing that we did before. So, oops, that's a bit too small. It's 20. Right, so what we need you to do is select the edges around the heart.
Okay.
And that's all of these outside edges.
Right.
And it could be a bit tricky in this area.
Yeah, clicking on it will be interesting to make sure I'm getting the borders and it's not going back like last time.
So we want you to create a selection of edges around the outside of the object. Right, so stop sharing.
All right, so let's see.
Share your screen.
Share, yeah.
Sorry?
Time for me to share, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, looks like there may be a question or comment or two in there, by the way.
Okay.
Screen shared.
Right, okay. So hang on, what questions?
Well, question or comment, I wasn't sure if it
Oh,
deemed a reply, but
that looks like coffee and ringtones.
is my screen showing?
Yes, right. So your screen is showing. Right. So switch to edge selection.
Edge selection.
Yes. So that's the three buttons. The current one that's selected is the orange square. I'm pointing at it for the viewers on your screen. That's it.
It's like here, right?
Yeah. So you want the middle one, which is edges.
Okay.
Right, and then just right-click any one of the edges around the outside perimeter of what we were outlining before. That's it, and then shift right-click.
Shift right-click.
Yeah, and then shift right-click all your way around the outer perimeter.
Oh yeah, it's like little bits and pieces on a side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See that? Look.
Yeah, not to worry, we can correct that.
That one here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now here looks like that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh, no, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, you can
get rid of that?
when that happens, just keep the shift key pressed and right click, and that will clear that selection for you. There you
There we go. Yeah, I think we got it around.
Brilliant. So from the mesh menu, that's bottom left. That's it. Mesh menu, we want edges. And then mark seam towards the top there.
Okay.
Excellent. Right. Rotate the scene around so that you're looking at the back side. And then repeat that for the same.
Okay.
So just right click and then shift right click. So that initial right click clears any of the previous selections, and then when you use the shift key, that then adds any subsequent selections that you make. It's just a quick way of clearing selections so you don't have to keep pressing the A key all the time. That's it.
Meshing achievement unlocked.
Yep, perfect. Mesh menu.
Mesh.
Edges. Mark seam. Right, rotate.
Save it.
Not yet. Rotate around so that we can see the bottom edge where the heart pinches.
Okay.
And then just select that edge.
Where the heart pinches.
Where it pinches together at the bottom. To the V.
You're talking about here?
Yes.
All right. All right. Then shift right click.
Just right click just once. That's it. And then from the mesh menu, mark a seam there as well. So edges, mark seam.
Okay.
Press the Z key.
Okay.
There we go. Press the A key. And that looks good. So we've got our UV seam on both sides, and we've got it running along the bottom to split the bottom there. That's perfect. Right, save the file.
There we go.
Jack Mesh. Jack Mesh asks.
I'm gonna grab a coffee real quick because I'm feeling a little sluggish.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yep,
So
that's
I'll be
okay.
back in a few.
Yep. Jack Mesh. That sounds a countryside. Oh no. Jack Mesh. Wouldn't it be more effective to have back and front UV matching, to have the same UV layout on them both, if that makes sense? Like in 3D Max we have a plain UV and make them. Oh, you're asking. That's planar mapping. We don't do that. No. Joking aside, let me just. So I'll. Blender. Right. This we kind of went over this in the previous session, but it depends, because you can do that, as you mentioned. You essentially what you're doing is planar mapping, or in Blender it's you're projecting the UV. If I just switch quickly whilst, whoops, wrong one. There we go. Oh, it's tiny, teeny tiny. So let me just assign the texture. That'll do. Yes. What you're talking about is called planar mapping, but in Blender, it's based on projection. Where has it gone? UV. So we've got all these options. And what you're talking about is project from view. So Blender doesn't have an actual planar map option. So for instance, if you were just working around the scene and you had your view looking at the side in perspective, in Max you can still assign a planar map projection to the object, even though you've got your looking at the object from a different perspective. In Blender we can't do that. If we want planar mapping, we have to actually look at the object from the orientation that we want the map to be planar mapped. So if you want it front to back, which is what you're essentially saying, you just orient the scene so that you're looking at the front of the object, UV map, and then project from view, and that'll create our planar map. But, and this is what we were kind of hinting at with the Buglies text, got to be careful if you do planar mapping, because you'll get texture stretching. So what you might want to do, again it depends on the look and the feel that you're going for. What you could do is planar map the front and the back, so that's these sides. So you planar map those just so that you get your mirrored alignments and the UV. And then what you can do is unwrap the edge on its own so that you don't get this. This is why there's texture stretching, because we're talking about coincidental vertices, UV vertices or UV faces. They all occupy the same space, and that causes the texture stretching. So you can use a combination of planar mapping and then, you know, manual mapping depending on what it is that you wanted to do. So once you've got your front and back done and they use the same space, so they're using exactly the same area of the UV map, you can do the sides so that you get a unique map. Obviously, you'll use up a lot of space doing this. So if you wanted to, each letter could be a separate texture, or, depending on the detail that you want, you could shrink these down so that they approximately are the same size as the rest of the texture, like that. So using the height of the cube, you can approximately match them. But it depends what you want to do. Planar mapping just creates blurring, texture stretching, so you just have to be mindful of the fact that that's happening. So if you want the thing to look, it looks okay with flat colors, but if your texture has, let's say for the sake of argument, it was a wooden texture, so this letter was made out of wood. If you had wood grain showing on the front, it would stretch. It would look odd stretched across the sides, so you would then have to adjust your UV map so that the wood was textured properly, or it appeared properly on the image that you're using. But obviously it takes a bit of work to do that.
I'm back. By the way.
Woohoo!
Got my coffee. A little too hot right now, but I'll drink it later.
It'll be cool in a few minutes.
Yeah. I saw Chairman Meow when I was getting coffee.
Oh, really? And what did Chairman Meow have to say for herself?
Absolutely nothing.
She's forgotten all about us.
We're just left behind.
Yep. We are the 44,000, or is it 4,400?
4,400, I believe. You're making a TV show reference.
TV show reference, yeah.
Geek safe environment here, people.
Yeah, geek safe, yeah. So just explaining what was going on with what Jack Mesh was asking with the UV map. Yeah, that's what this is Jack Mesh following up. Yeah, that is what I was thinking of to fix the sides after projecting the UV map at the back and the front. It makes life easier. Yes, it does. Yeah. So, yes, it does. It depends on whether you're happy with any texture stretching. If this is just for you, then you can do whatever you want, obviously. But if it's for derivation, it's always best to try and think of the potential issues that might cause to a texture artist. There are ways to kind of fix it to a degree, which we went over in the previous session. Because what you can do is, what you can do is just, when you are doing the texture layout, is just create an area of bleed around the edge. And that'll hide the fact that you've got an edge of your texture, and it'll uniformly stretch it without any color aberrations that might occur from it picking up pixels or stray pixels from the background where the UV map terminates. So let us continue with Shannon's doohickory. Right, so we saved the file.
Yeah, I saved it before I got the coffee. Should I save it again?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Right, so switch to texture mode. So that's the button that's to the right of where you switch between edit and object mode. Yeah,
here?
That's the one. You want texture.
Ah, there we go. This looks familiar.
Yeah. Right, so switch the layout to UV. So that's the button at the top that looks like a window to the left of default, running along the top.
Here?
Yep.
Oh,
So,
there we go. This one here, right?
yep, that's it. And we want UV editing.
There we go.
Right, so in the 3D view, press the A key.
Okay.
That's the image editor on the left. You want on the right, the 3D view. That's it.
Oh, sorry.
Press the A key.
Okay.
That selects everything, and we can see that our UV map is currently one heck of a mush.
So just so I'm clear, the right side is called what
That's
again?
the right hand. So when we change the layout, it splits the screen literally down the center, and on the right is the 3D view, which is what you were just using. It just displays it so that you can see the mesh whilst you're working on the UV map, which is the UV editor on the left.
Okay.
So with that done, press. Well, we can go down to the mesh menu in the 3D view.
Okay, so just to be clear, this here is called what again?
That's
the right side?
That's the 3D view.
Okay. And you call this?
That's the UV image editor or the UV editor.
Okay. Okay, I've heard different names. I just want to be sure. So this is like the editor. This is the 3D. The 3D.
Yes.
Right side.
Yeah.
Right. So mesh.
One UV unwrap. It's about a third of the way up.
Oh, I thought you said mesh. My bad. Sorry. UV...
No, that's right. You were in the right place. The mesh menu.
Oh. Okay.
And then
it's
there's
UV unwrap.
UV unwrap, and then you want unwrap at the top.
Oh, God.
And see what it's done to the image.
Yeah.
On
Can
the
I turn it around?
Yep, on the left. So what we need to do now is fiddle around with the size of that on the left-hand side, like we did with the L, the letter L.
Again?
Yep. But this time you have a choice. You can either rotate the front and back of the heart so that they are upright the way that you would normally expect to see them.
Okay.
Or you can rotate them around so that they sit on their side like the letter actually is in the 3D view. And the difference, or the reason why you might choose one or the other is, well, it relates essentially just to, just ease of texturing. Because if you rotate the thing around so that it looks like the 3D view, it basically means that when somebody paints a straight line on it, the straight line will appear as they would expect it to appear on the mesh, because the UV map matches the orientation of the 3D mesh. Whereas if you have the UV maps aligned as you might expect the letter to be before we did all the editing and moving it and rotating it, if they drew a line, it might not appear where they're expecting it to. So it's an either or. So you can either do one or the other. You can actually do both of them at the same time. But for ease of texturing, it might be better to align the UVs so that they match the orientation of the 3D letter. So if you in the image editor on the left, if you right-click one of the heart shapes, and then press the R key.
Turn it around.
Yep, and rotate it so that it matches the 3D view. That's it. And then right-click the other one. Press the R key. That's it. Left-click.
Already did it.
Perfect.
Zoom slow.
Yeah. Right click the the long thin strip and rotate that so it's sitting horizontally. Yes.
Like that? It was already like this, wasn't it?
No, that's vertical. You want it horizontal.
Oh, horizontal.
Yeah.
But then it's partly off.
Yeah. Hold. That's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Hold down Control whilst you're doing that, and then it'll snap. Right now, press the G key and just move that across so that everything fits inside the texture space, so it's all inside. And then left click. Right. What you want to do now is press the A key to select everything. It'll deselect once, and then press it again. That's it. Press the S key, S for scale, and just rescale everything larger. So you want it so that the heart is maybe half the height of that texture. So pull the mouse away from the selection and it should increase in size. There you go.
How's that?
That's about right. Yep, perfect. Left click.
Okay.
And then just G key and then just reorganize the elements so that they all fit within the texture.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
Left click.
All right.
Right, so we're done for the moment with that.
Woo! Woo, I say.
Yeah, so move on to the letter V. So we need to do exactly the same thing with the letter V. So exit edit mode in the 3D view.
I'm going to hit tab.
Yeah.
Can I do that? Object mode. Dun, dun, dun.
Switch the layout. Well, we might not need to. Oh, no, we do. Oh, no. Well, no, not really. Right click the letter V, just as you can see off screen, and then from the view menu, view selected. That's it.
There we go.
Excellent. Zoom out just a little bit so that we can see the entire thing. Excellent. Switch
The V or the entire lug?
the V, just the V.
Okay.
Right, so edit mode.
Okay.
Yeah, as Hot Rod says, meshing is very cool when it works. Emphasis when it works.
When it works.
Yeah. Right, I'm just going to take a screen grab of this again.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing then.
Yeah.
And I get to hang out on Twitch and make comments with the others.
Yeah. Share screen. Okay, so letter V. So we need to do the same thing again. Brush. Where's my brush? There's my brush. So this time it's more like the letter L, and we need you to select these edges around the outside of the shape. And again, this needs to be done on both sides. And we may need to do some editing. Hang on, I'll just mark this. So we need you to select these edges on the outside perimeter, but we may also need to do a bit of editing and cleaning up here, similar to what we needed to do with the letter L with this cap. I don't know what this section.
Yeah. Okay.
So first make the selection and then we'll check, well, we'll be able to see what it does when you make this selection. across the
Right.
top here. We'll actually see what it's doing. So, right, share screen, and then we could continue.
Showing now. So I'm going to do the old right click and then shift.
Yeah, so make sure you are in
And then edit.
Edge. Yeah, so we're in Edge Select, we're in Edit mode. Excellent. Right, so right click one of the edges, and then shift right click the others to add them.
I think we came down that way, right?
Yep.
And then we went up this way. We didn't bother with the back border there.
No, not that one. You want the you're following a line around the outside perimeter. That's it. Outside perimeter of the object.
Okay.
That's it. Perfect. Mesh menu. Edges. Mark seam.
Okay.
Excellent. Right, so rotate around to the other side.
Okay. Oh yeah, this looks funkier on this side.
Yep, and then so repeat that. So right click one of those edges on the outside edge. That's it, and then shift.
Whoa. Am I seeing that right?
Not that one.
No, I missed it. You got to go this way, right?
Yeah.
Come back down.
That's it.
Go like that. Wait, I don't think I got that. Let's try that again. There we go. I think that did it. Does that look right here at the square on the left side?
Yeah, that looks okay, and we do need to do some editing for that. So mesh menu, edges, mark seam.
Mark seam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Do we need to do a bottom at all, like the other one, or not really?
Yes, you can do. So if you just select one of those edges, it doesn't matter which one on the bottom there.
Let's do that one. How's that?
That's it. And then mesh, edges,
Mark seam.
mark seam.
Okay.
Right.
Coffee's still too hot, for those who were wondering.
That's okay. Right, switch selection to face select. So that's the three buttons to the left, bottom left.
Three buttons, the bottom left.
Bottom right, sorry.
Bottom right. Three, oh, these, right?
Yeah, so you want face select, which is the third one on the right. That's it.
Okay.
Now, delete, select the faces, or select one face. Let's start with one face. Just select one face on that cross section at the top there, yes. So right click there.
Okay.
Press the X key.
Okay.
And then faces.
Okay.
Right click the other face that's there in that section. And then press the X key again.
Faces?
Yeah.
That looks better.
Right, so...
If I do say so myself.
Yeah. If you want a hole in the mesh, yeah. Switch to edge select. So that's the middle of those three buttons. To the right. That's it.
Okay.
And then just select the edge that runs along the opening that we've now just created, that runs along the bottom of the opening.
This part here?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Right. Select in the middle of that.
Okay.
And then select to the right.
All right.
Yeah, so press the X key. Delete edges.
Delete edges. Wow.
Well, we've got edges. Edges at the top. That's it.
Okay, so edges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so double check. So right click one of those edges along the bottom of that opening that we've just created again.
Right there?
Yep. Move along to the left. That's okay, yep, and that's okay. So what we've just done is we've deleted the faces that were created when the not the vertex, the vector, the text being vector based will convert in a literal sense when it's converted to a mesh, but in doing that it creates extra faces which cause issues when we try and unwrap the object. So what we've done is we've removed some of the faces and a couple of the edges to clear that area so that we can rebuild that section and have that part of the mesh work the way that we need it to. So whilst we're in edge select, so you've got one edge selected, so shift right click the vertical edge to the left of that selection that you've already got. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, shift right click the bottom edge.
Like
That's
that?
it. And then press the F key, F for Freddy or F for Foxtrot. That's it.
Okay.
Repeat the process on the other corner. So on the right click the, that's it. And then shift right click the bottom. So you need two edges, that's it. And then press the F key, F for Foxtrot.
There we go.
That creates a face. Now this is the tricky one. So you want to select, right click the diagonal edge that's new, that's a consequence of the face that we've just created, that's on the inside edge.
Like there? Inside edge?
Well, right click and let me see, I can't quite make out with the... Yes. And then shift right click the edge on the other face that we just created that essentially parallels that. That's it.
Did I get it? Yeah.
Yes, you did. Whoops.
Okay. No, maybe?
No,
Click it again.
not that edge. You just want the edges on the inside of the faces that you just created.
Okay.
So right click and then shift right click and that's it. Then press the F key and that creates a new face.
Okay,
Excellent.
I see now.
So you might need to go around that area again and select the edges and remark the seams.
Can I do the top here?
Yeah, so right click one of the outer edges.
How's that?
Yep, and then shift right click the edges around the perimeter that you've just created.
I'm doing the bottom, if that makes sense.
No, not that one. Hold on, I'll do another screen grab.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
And no, you stopped sharing too quickly.
Oh, sorry. Back to you.
Are you sharing your screen? I need to take a screen grab of what you were doing.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Right.
So you need to grab it. You want to grab it.
Yeah. You stopped.
I thought you were like doing other things.
You stopped sharing before I could grab it. So.
All right. How about now? Can you see it?
Not yet.
Blender. Maybe there's some lag. You're still not seeing it?
No.
Wait. Let's try it again.
There we go. No, it's appearing now.
Okay.
All right. So screen grab. Drop that in there. Right, so if you stop sharing, and then I'll show you what we need to do.
All right. I can stop sharing now?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Sharing stopped.
Right, so you should be able to see what's on screen. Right, so
Yes.
that's what you've got so far. So I'll just zoom in on this a little bit.
Whoa.
Right, so you have a couple of edges already marked from previous.
Okay.
That's this one and this one. And it looks like this one as well. But
It's like an L and a reverse L almost.
yeah, but what we need you to do anyway is to reselect these edges and redefine them with mark seam. We need to remark the seam.
I noticed you left the bottom one there. You didn't fill out the
Yeah,
yellow.
no, we don't need to do anything with that. That's fine.
Okay.
Because the shape that we're trying to mark continues on down like this.
Right. Okay. Because that's like a part of another piece, I think, is why you left it on non-yellow.
Well, no, it's not part of another piece. It's just that we don't need it to be UV mapped. It's because it's a continuation.
Ah, okay.
It's a continuation of this. So we just need the outside edges marked because it defines this area, which is the red squiggly line. It defines all of this in here.
Okay. Now, I'm just working on the upper part there, right? Or am
yes.
I?
Yeah. No. Well, that's what I mean. So what you have to do is you just have to select this edge.
Right. It's almost a full square, but not quite.
This edge along the top, this edge down the side, and this edge here, because we've already got the others marked from previously, from the previous attempt.
Okay.
Right, so, right, share your screen.
All right, back to it. Shared.
Right, so you might want to zoom in a little bit. That's it, and just move the scene around so that using your middle mouse, shift middle mouse, that's it.
Right. I already clicked this. I think I may have gotten them, but let me check the sides. Did I get everything? Maybe not. I was clicking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, yeah, so continue around and make the selection, shift right click.
So I thought I got it already here, but let me check. Is it lighting up? I don't quite see it.
Yeah, I can't quite. Well, if you press the Z key.
So it looks like I missed the top if we're going off the orange.
No, that's okay. That looks like it's already marked. That's fine. Right, so from the mesh menu.
Okay.
Edges.
Mark seam.
Mark seam.
Okay.
Press the A key to clear the selection.
Okay.
Right, so don't do anything. It looks like you've actually got an edge that is running along, an edge selection that's marked as a seam that's running along. I'm just pointing this out for people on screen, on the stream. So there's an errant edge marking in that the edge that you were wanting to select needs to be cleared of the seam marking. So if you right click that edge that you were trying to select or you were wanting to select, just to highlight it, yeah, right click. And then from the mesh menu, you want edges and then clear seam.
Okay.
So if you press the A key, that should clear that. And it
Did that
hasn't.
clear it?
No, it doesn't look as if it
Yeah.
has.
I'm like, looks the same.
Okay, so
Maybe
right-click
it's
that.
part of the whole line.
Right-click that line edge again. Okay. Right-click it again. The middle.
You want me to connect them, right?
No, no, don't do anything. Right, stop. Don't do anything.
Okay.
Right, press the X key.
Okay.
And you want edges.
Okay. There we go. I think I did something.
What's that done? Right, switch to, press the Z key.
Okay.
Yeah, that's done something very odd to the mesh. Okay, Control Z.
Okay.
Right, save the file and send it to me.
Uh-oh. It's getting hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, I'm going to stop sharing, by the way.
Yeah.
Will be file 18 coming to you. Okay. Just getting the file ready. You'd like to hum some elevator music for us?
Yes,
No?
yeah, we need some elevator music. I'll have to see if I can find some.
Yeah, we should have like some, music. It seems like we should have some jazz music for Jazz Cat.
Yeah, some elevator music.
Yeah.
Really, really bad elevator music.
Yeah, and just like play it in between so people beg us over to play it again.
I'll have to see if I can find some royalty-free stuff.
There's a lot of options here to torture our listeners so that
yeah.
they never come back. Yes.
Yeah.
Always a good move. All right. Here we go.
It's just Hot Rod commented on the fact that we might be playing music.
That we might be playing music?
We might be playing music at some point. I have to try and track some down.
It's like putting the word out.
Hot Rod, it does. Twitch does have music, but it's a big but. You can't do anything. If we use Twitch's music in anything, we can't then upload the archives to YouTube. The royalty-free is only applicable to usage on Twitch. Chop suey, yeah.
Aww.
No, we aren't actually playing any music, Debs.
But we could.
You can. Whatever tune is floating around your head, you can just imagine that as everyone's listening to whatever it is that's.
Yes.
But yes, Twitch does have royalty-free music, but you can't use it off-site. You can't use it anywhere other than on Twitch. Yeah, so Debs has got the ketchup song running in her head.
Okay, I sent the file a few seconds
Right.
ago.
Not yet.
Wow, hanging out with Jazz Cat. What more could we ask for, listeners? What more could we ask for? No quips, Aislinn.
No.
Oh, too late. She already put something in here. Cat McSnatch. Yeah, I think we need to consider the music for this and future
Can't
episodes.
we? Oh no. Well, you see, we can't even use. I was just about to suggest using some of the stuff from IMVU's store, but we've probably got the same sort of limitations there in terms of we can't really do.
So there is open music that you can get. I mean, lots of people do it from podcasts. They just grab stuff. That's an option. Would have to plan it out a little more. And this is technically your channel, so it seems appropriate that you should be the final decision maker on what it'll be. In case we try to do really bad.
Anything except drum and bass. I will even tolerate country music.
Tolerate country music. Yeah, I'm not huge on country either, but I'm more inclined to play it now that I know you barely can tolerate it.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Oh no! Don't torture me with country music.
I somehow think that it would be difficult to get everybody here to agree on something, but it's worth a shot.
Right. So your file has come through. So let me just save this.
They're talking about country now. We just opened a door we can't close.
That's fine.
Right.
I do actually like country music, and I it's actually the other way around. I will barely tolerate drum and bass.
I would just think with your name, Jazz Cat, I immediately thought jazz.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Apparently that was off.
Yeah, the name kind of gives it away.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess Jazz Cat sounds better than Country Cat.
Yeah, country cat.
Yeah,
Or would it
probably
be?
a name already taken.
It'd be rural cat. Right.
The catcher.
So what we've got here is the problem that we were talking about earlier. And it's probably quicker for me to do, for us to do this in the sense that you save the file, send it to me, and I fix it. So what we should have, So what we should have is an alignment of the faces. Oh, hang on, I'm not sharing this with you, am I? So, hang on.
I'm just kind of nodding.
Yeah. Right, so there you can see it now. Right, so this is what we were talking about earlier. This is the correction that we've essentially tried to make. So we've created these faces based on the physical structure that we've got here. But originally, when the mesh was converted, it created this, which is not actually matching up to the bottom faces of this narrow upright. And that's because it's added a couple of extra faces, and we can see these. So if I select those two faces, press the G key, we can see that there are an extra couple of faces in place. And those are causing issues. So even though we deleted these two faces on this side and then recreated it, we've still got edges and faces left or remaining from that previous structure, and that's what's causing problems. And it can be tricky to delete them, which is one of the reasons why I was asking you to select the edges. So right-clicking in the corner selects that corner edge. Right-clicking in the left corner selects that left corner edge. But there's an edge here that we need to get, well, that's the edge that we need to keep, but it's this edge that we've got marked that's actually in the way, and that needs to be removed. But you can't see it under normal circumstances because it looks as if it's part of this group of edges that run along the bottom of this serif section, this section of the serif. So it can be a bit tricky to remove. So you can tell normally that there's something going on because you have to look at the position of the widget. There isn't actually an edge corresponding to the position of that widget. If we select the outer edge on the right, the widget appears in the middle of the edge. If we select this edge on the left, it appears in the middle of that edge. If we select the edge that's in the middle that we want to keep, it appears in the middle of that selection. But if we select the errant edge, it appears in the middle of that edge, but that selection and the position of the widget doesn't correspond to any of the edges that we need to keep. And that's how you can tell that there's something odd going on there. Even if you can't see it, it's not always as obvious to see. So what we need to do is just remove that. So we can press the X key, edges, and that should just remove that edge and leave us what we need, which it has done. So if I deselect that, that edge is now clear of any seam markings. So I'll do the same on the other side. So I have to remove these two faces first, delete those, so that's the X key, delete the faces, and then I want to delete this edge that's missing, well, the extra edge that we've got here. So again, right clicking that edge, we've got the widget in the middle, and that corresponds to a selection that goes right across that edge, but it doesn't correspond to anything that we want to keep. So that means that's an errant edge that we can remove. And there's another one. Again, the widget doesn't appear corresponding to any of the edges that we want to keep, so we can delete that as well. So now we should have just the edges that we want to keep. And then we can close these gaps and mark the seam that's incomplete. So edges, mark seam. And we might need to do some remove doubles here. So A key, no, it won't be, it looks like a smoothing issue, but we'll get to that. Just to double check. So that's A key, select everything. Tool tab, rem doubles. No vertices, so that's okay, so it's a smoothing issue. We can fix that later. Right, so I'll save this. Save as, whoops, 18B. And save that in the right location. And send this to you.
Okay.
So we didn't cheat.
Cheater.
Yeah, but this was kind of, it's kind of tricky to sort out and time consuming. What is it, 18B, so that one. Right, so it's sending now.
Okay.
OMG, did Twitch just reset itself?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did everyone get bumped out?
No, it's for me. It's I'm not looking at the.
Oh, okay.
Not looking at the screen. I'm normally looking at.
All right, I got the file. I'm going to download it.
Yeah.
This is making me think of. I heard some people over talking in line when I was on break, and somebody was trying to convince his friends that email was the greatest invention ever, and he got shot down quite a bit. And I was thinking in my head, a little too late to be making that argument, but
email's the best.
10 years back.
Email's the best thing ever invented.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say.
And people were shooting that down.
His geek tech friends were, yeah, because I'm in a tech.
What was the argument? What was the counter argument?
The counter argument was that email was just like so yesterday, and there's clearly better things like AI and all this other stuff coming out, right? So.
Oh, are they what you mean in terms of forms of communication, or just the best thing ever invented in tech?
I don't think they were that sophisticated. I think he just randomly said, email's the best thing ever, and they just shot him down, maybe to partly troll him. I don't know, but I think there's an argument to be made for,
Well,
email.
it kind of is.
Didn't want to digress too much, but I would say there's an argument.
No, but
I got you going.
But it is. It kind of is, because it's fundamental to every form of communication. When you use when you send a text via SMS, that's essentially email communication. It's just via a different format.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, email underlies every form of electronic communication that we use.
Is everybody getting this? This is an important conversation.
Yeah, I would imagine so. But
you're still sharing, by the way.
Oh, am I? Oh.
I've got my file ready to go.
Okay. Right, so if you share screen.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I imagine that they're probably trolling him.
I think they were trolling him.
Because we haven't even actually really got a workable AI yet, have we? So how can we make the comparison? How can we?
We've got bots.
Well, we've got bots, yeah, bots and scripts.
For all types of botting, yeah.
Aislinn. Aislinn says the best thing ever is coffee. That was the best thing ever invented. Given how much techies consume.
Cranky side. There is a lot of coffee available.
Right, so that's the fixed version, is it? Yeah, 18B. Yep. So if you just save a version 19 of that so that you've got a clean
copy. Oh, wait, I gotta save it as.
Yes,
all right,
and Hot Rod was just saying that the written word is slowly disappearing, and it unfortunately it is. Yes,
there is. People are going for what's convenient and speedy rather than elegance.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I mean, how many people were writing elegantly out of the masses? A minority at best, I'd say. A fraction.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's been. I mean, even before the internet, really, and email communication, letter writing was on the wane anyway.
Yeah, and back in the day, you got the people talking about the art of letter writing and how the telephone was going to destroy all that when the telephone.
Well, it kind of did. I mean, when you think about it, the people that were the people that were writing letters were people that couldn't afford telephones, and as the technology becomes cheaper, the more people can afford telephones, the less likely they are to write, and so forth and so forth, and eventually technology supersedes the need to do certain things, and they just fall by the wayside. It's the same with, I mean, I remember in I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s when they were talking about video phones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, video phones were going to replace all sorts of stuff, but it hasn't quite done that yet because obviously videos require huge amounts of bandwidth.
Yeah.
But today, even though well, today it's not video phones for the sake of communications, it's video phones for the sake of taking selfies.
This is true. Nobody saw the selfie thing. Well, almost nobody really saw the selfie thing coming.
No.
Until it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that coming. Right, so let's just double
Human
check
vanity was left out of the equation.
So if you switch to edit mode,
Tab. There we go.
and then press the Z key to switch to wireframe mode,
Okay.
then press the A key to deselect everything, and then just twirl around the mesh just to double check that we've got all the edges set up the way that we need to, and we do. Excellent.
This one here is not marked, but it doesn't matter, right?
No, we just need one on the outside.
Right.
Oh, we already have one actually, where the oh no, that should be fine. Okay, right. So switch the layout to UV editing. That's the strip running along the top with the button that looks like a window. That's it. UV editing. Select everything. So press the A key. That shows our texture. If you move the mouse over the 3D view again, and switch, so switch the display from solid, which it's at the moment, to texture. That's the little button that's to the right of edit mode. That one, yeah. Texture.
Say texture?
Yeah. That's it. Perfect. In the UV image editor on the left, click the little button that looks like a picture. That's to the left of the letter V that's showing in the... Not that one. To your left again. That's
to
it.
the O over here.
Not all the way to the left. To the left.
Oh, right here.
That's it. Yeah.
The actual letter V. Got
yeah.
it.
And then left click letter V.
Okay. There we go.
That ensures that all the textures are assigned to the meshes, to the faces. And then mouse over the... Oh, well, it might not even need to do this. So over the left, press the E key, E for Edward.
Okay.
Press the A key, just so that we can see that. It looks like it's... Has it done everything? Yes, it has. It's UV map. So we can do the same thing that we did with the other two letters now and rotate the V sections around. So right-click select on the left. Right-click one of the V's.
Okay.
That's it. Press the R key, R for rotate, and rotate it around so that it's upright, the way that you would expect the letter V to appear. That's it. Left-click. Then right-click the other bit. You might have to do a bit of right-click or press the escape key just to reset that, because you've got two UV map sections selected there.
Okay.
Right, so right-click one of them. Yeah, so right-click the square bit.
Okay. It's not changing.
Right, so that means then that we have... let me just double check. So leave your screen as is. Let me just double check. No, that should. Oh, so it's attached.
Yeah, it looks like they're tied together.
Yeah. It shouldn't do because that's separate. That's... We have an edge, we have our edges marked, but for some reason it is... So which corner is that? Oh, there it is. Right. Let me just share my screen so that you can see this.
All right, let me stop sharing
Yeah.
right now. It has begun.
Right, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, so I'll switch to default. Right, so we've got this, so we're on the front face of the letter. So that's all of these bits, but we have a missing edge that's not been marked in this bottom corner of this serif section, this section of the serif, and that's on the broader element of the V, the letter V. So we're looking at the letter from the front, and it's this bottom edge that we've missed. Yeah, so it's that edge. So you need to select that and right click.
Which edge is that again?
So as you're looking at the letter front on,
yep,
it's this edge in the bottom corner of the V, the serif section.
Okay, where you have it marked, the first marking at the bottom of the triangle.
Yeah. Right, so if you share your screen again.
Yep, get that. You have some people typing if they're asking questions. I don't know. Let's see. Meshing is hardwork.com. Is that right?
Yes, it is. It can be very much so.
Hardwork.com. All right, get this tutorial.
Is it sharing? Is your screen sharing? Oh, there we
right
go.
now. Yeah. I had many tabs open,
Yeah.
as I like to brag, about only a mere 60. And some of them wanted to be on top to get attention, and the blender was at the bottom. So I apologize.
Right, so you want so if you zoom into the letter V as you are looking at it right now, because we are looking at the front.
Okay, this letter here. Okay. We're going over here.
Yep, and it's that corner. It's that corner of the serif. So make sure we are in edge select, so that's okay. So right click and then edges.
Edges. Wait, that's
sorry,
different.
mesh, sorry. Edges.
Oh, there we go. And
mark seam.
Clear? No, mark, okay. Right?
Right, so A key.
Okay.
A key again.
Okay.
Then move the mouse over the image editor on the left and press the E key. There we go. Okay. That's it. Perfect.
Yeah. Like a foot.
Right, so all you need to do now is just select that one V that's sitting, that's flipped upside down. So right click that.
Over here?
Yep. Press the R key and rotate it round.
Wow, that was like locked, right?
Yeah.
Those two pieces. Interesting. All right. Do I want this one up here? So press it all?
No, that's fine. Well, you can move it if you want. So if you right click and just
G, right?
did we? Oh, we have created separate textures for these. Okay. In that case, then, press the A key. Press the A key again.
Mm-hmm.
Press S and scale the size of the letter V's up so that they occupy about half the height of the texture. Or so they're approximately half the height. Yep, that's about right.
Left click.
Left click, yep. So
Okay.
right click the two V sections and just position them within the texture space. So right click, press the letter G and then move them into position. Yep, that's it. That's it. So what you might want to do here,
That's too big.
that's okay, that's fine. Just position that approximately for now. So left click just to set it in place.
Okay.
So press the R key and spin it round so that it lies horizontal.
Oh, okay. But it'll overlap with some things.
That's okay. Left click to set.
Right. You can move it down.
No, don't do anything yet. Leave it where it is.
Okay. Right.
Now select the section that you put in the top right corner. Right click.
Oh, there we go.
No, not that. You want to select the other UV map section that you put in the top right corner.
Oh. Oh,
No,
okay.
that's okay. If you select, can you see that there's a bit of the UV map poking out on the right there that's underneath the bit that you've got selected? That's it. Now press the G key and move that into the space that you've got bottom left.
There we go. All right.
That's it. Just double check that the long section is sitting comfortably within the texture space and it's rotated round so that it is. That's it. Press the R key. Remember what I said about you can select something and the sensitivity of the rotation or the action is relative to the position of the mouse to the center of the object. So if you right click just to reset, move the mouse to one side, then press the R key, you'll have much greater control.
Okay.
Right.
I think it's inside the borders.
Yeah, just press the G key just to double check. And then just move it.
Okay.
That's it.
I want
Perfect.
to move the V. I should move the V a little, right?
Rotate those so that they are upright.
Just to make sure it's in, because they were poking at the lines.
Yeah, that's fine. Press the R key and just rotate them so they're upright. That's it.
That's in the border.
That's it. Perfect. Right, so that's the letter V done. So exit edit mode in the 3D view.
Object mode.
Switch the layout to default.
Layout to default.
That's the strip running along the top. Yeah, that's it.
Default. Okay.
Switch to texture mode, so that's the button that's to the left of the object mode edit mode selector. To the right, sorry. That's it. Texture.
Texture.
Yep.
Okay.
Right click the letter E.
The last letter.
Yeah, the last letter. And in the modifier stack, press the apply button on the left there. That's it. From the view menu, bottom left of the 3D view, view selected. Right, just zoom out a little bit so that I can see the full letter and I'll do another screen capture. Right, switch to edit mode. That's it.
Edit mode.
Yeah. deselect everything, so press the A key.
Okay.
Actually, save the file whilst you're there. Whilst I'm doing this, and I'll...
Just was about to ask. File 20. Achievement unlocked.
Right, I'll share my screen.
I would need to stop sharing my
Yes,
screen.
stop sharing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Stop sharing. Bum. Or boom, if you prefer. For those inside joke there and somebody in there. This coffee's kicking in at least.
Hot Rod was just saying that needs to invest in his computer. So I know the feeling. This
You
is
mean like getting more than four RAM?
yeah, 4 RAM of jiggly bits, and yeah, this is being done on an i3 2330, so it's second generation i3.
Oh.
So if we can do that, if we can do what we're doing on a 2330 second generation i3, then anything more than that, and you'll be fine, perfectly fine.
Nice to know you can use anything.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yeah. Right. So, what we need you to do this time, this might be slightly more tricky than the selecting the heart shape, because we've got this inner section of the E to select as well. So we might do this separately. But
whoa,
what we need you to do is, where's my paintbrush gone? There it is. I'm not quite sure how many edges are running along here, but there's an edge. We need to select that, and this outline of this little aperture, or this window. So that's possibly one selection of the letter E. And then we need you to go around the outer perimeter of the E, selecting all of these edges. Oops. And then running along the inside of this bit.
Ah, the inside. Okay.
Yeah, and then down and around until you complete the selection. And that looks like
you got the little
Pac-Man.
middle there. You got the arch almost in the center.
Yeah.
Almost an arch.
Yeah. It looks like Pac-Man. So that's what we want you to do. So select the outer perimeter, and then we have this little aperture to deal with as well. So share your screen.
Okay. Let's get that going.
Yeah, I think it's Zoom. Zoom's got the delay in it, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Oh.
showing on Twitch, which is good.
That's okay. That's sorry about that hiccup. That's potato internet. Right, so where's the thing gone? Oh, that's why it keeps doing that. I'm using a mouse with more than 3 buttons. It's got the buttons on the side, and if you knock one of the buttons, it uses it's if you're over the browser, it's browser forward and back, so it keeps going backwards because I keep knocking things. Right, so there we go. Right, so you need to make a selection around the perimeter of the E, and then include, or we can do that separately, but we're...
The screen's spinning, but I saw the gist of the E.
Yeah.
So that looks like my screen, actually.
Yes, that's your screen now.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at your Twitch, so let me go to mine now. Okay. We are in edit mode. Am I ready to start selecting?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, so right-click an edge on the outer.
Let me get the center here.
That's it, and then shift. You might want to zoom closer to make that easier to do.
Oh, I gotta hit shift and get right click.
That's it. So clear that selection.
Right. How do I clear it again?
Just right click or press the A key.
Let me do A. Okay.
Right, so
let's try this again.
Yeah. So right click.
There, that got that.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Shift right click.
Top. All right.
Yep, that looks good. So mesh from the mesh menu. Edges.
Mark seam.
Mark seam.
All right. Let's go out a little.
Yep, and do the outer edge now. So you have to go all the way around the letter.
Let's start here at the bottom side E. Okay, I'm going to go this way. The top.
Contrarian.
Yeah. Did I get that? Nope.
No.
Right click to do that.
Yeah, remember, so you'll have to deselect that. So
Yeah,
right click an edge, and remember that if you make a mistake in selection, just keep the shift key held down, and you can right click the edge that you accidentally clicked, and it'll just remove it.
There we go.
Yep, so work your way around.
Go this way now.
Sorry?
I'll just work from the bottom. I was going up
that's fine.
top, but yeah, I'm down here. Oh, wow, that's really close to the V. Or so it appears.
Aislinn, yes, I did. I jinxed it by saying it could be done on anything.
Did jinx it. Did we just say jinx?
Yeah.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
Unfortunately, she's not here.
Comrade. Nope. Right. Did I hit this side
so
here?
go, yeah, that's right. So hover over that and just shift right click and it'll deselect. That's it.
There we go.
Now continue on. That's it. Right, perfect. Mesh menu. Edges. Mark seam.
What's mark sharp?
We might be using that.
Okay. I just saw that.
Yep, so flip around to the other side.
I'm going to have to do this again?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Let's do the little arch thing.
Yep, and do the same thing.
Oh, look at that. A lot of edges here.
That's it. marks mesh edges, mark seam, and then select the edges around the outer perimeter.
Get this part here, work my way around to the bottom. Meshing is hard work, or so I hear.
That's it. Whoops.
That's I gotta click that.
Yep, shift. That's it.
And I believe going up here.
Yep.
Did I get that? No, there we go. All right.
That's it. Mesh. Edges.
Mark seam.
Mark seam.
All right.
And then we want to
now we got to get one side bottom, right?
Well, what we can do this time is the inside edge, because there isn't a bottom to this. So we want the inside edge of the E where the curve joins the horizontal on the inside.
So the curve joins the horizontal.
Yeah, so if you the drop,
yep,
it curves from the hang on, stop moving.
Okay.
So if you watch, can you see the stream?
Yeah, let me go over to Twitch. Boom. All right, I'm on Twitch.
Yeah, so when it stops rotating, we don't have an edge at the bottom for the E, but we do have a couple of edges that we can use instead of, but we don't want the front edges because those can be seen. What we want is this edge that runs across the inside on the underside of the letter.
I see. Yeah. That way it blends in better?
Yeah, well, it hides the fact that there's a seam. So if you right-click select that edge that runs, that's hidden from view at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so rotate the scene around so that you can see the inside edge, and then select that.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to my screen now.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold the shift key down, left shift, and I'm going to click around here where you showed me.
No. It's if you hang on, I'll do a screenshot.
Should I look at the Twitch or?
You can do. It probably save a bit of time, I guess. Paste.
Right.
Right, so we've got a couple of edges that we can use. We don't have one that runs along the bottom, which is where we've been placing the seam previously. Right. Because putting one along the bottom will split the edge in a relatively inconvenient place.
Oh, okay. So we want higher up, it looks like?
Well, we could use these two edges running along the front. But if we use those, it means the seam is visible. So there's a break in the texture running across those two edges, so we don't use those.
Okay. So where do we want it? See how I lead the
what we
question?
Want, there's an edge. If we follow this curve around and inside and up, there's an edge running along the inside of this letter.
All right.
And it's that edge that we want.
Okay.
So
So either of those edges? Because you marked 2 edges there.
No, not yet. When it catches up with the stream, you'll see in a second when it catches up.
Okay. I see a reddish S, but I think it's catching up still. Starting to agree with Aislinn about coffee.
Yeah.
Who needs email when I have coffee?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I see. Oh, now I see a red arrow pointing. Oh, wow. This is like inside the E in the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably good you show that to me because that would be really hard to explain. Just poking around.
So if you're
like, no, missed it again. Nope.
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Nope.
So if you rotate your view around.
Okay. All right. Let me get out of Twitch. All right, so yeah, that will.
Yeah, so if you rotate around so that you can see the inside of that.
Like, do I want to be on the side or at the?
No,
here, you mean?
No, you want to be able to see that inside edge. So rotate upwards.
Okay, I think it was like right here is where I want, right?
Rotate the letter upwards so that you are essentially looking more or less on the underside of the.
Oh, okay. Under it? Is that what we want? I suspect I'm missing this.
Hold on.
That's how you looking.
That's it. That's it. No, that. Oh, you just passed it.
Oh, we've got some lag. Okay.
Yeah, we've got some lag.
Oh, that's the confusion. Got it. So I'm going to turn a little way. I think this is what you were talking about, but I might be wrong here. We'll just wait for them to catch up. I'm showing like the bottom part of the email.
Right, so you don't want to go all the way to the bottom. You want to be looking at the. You want to be able to see the bottom and the sides because you're looking at the inside of the E.
Okay.
Right, so that edge that you can now see that's now revealed because you've rotated around. Not that edge, it's on the inside of the E. This bit.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. We're talking about here, right?
No.
Maybe?
No.
Strike two.
If you stop sharing.
This is interesting visual. Stop sharing.
Right, I'll share my screen.
Now I can see it on the big screen here. That should help a little. How are you doing that?
Right, so what we've done, let me just quickly do this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think you missed one back there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You did so quick, like a pro. Oh.
Yeah, and shortcut key, blah blah. Right.
Okay.
So what we've done, I've only done it on one side because it actually needs to be done on both sides. But so we've got our front and back of the letter set up using the seam. We've got the little inner aperture set up with a little seam. And we need to place 2 seams to break this loop of edges that go all the way around the mesh.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do this in two places because we have to deal with the outside edge, and we also have to deal with the inside edge.
Okay.
So we don't have, well, we do have an edge that we could use along the bottom here, but the problem with that is it breaks the texture or the UV in an inconvenient place. So
Right.
let's say, like with Liana's little bug, if she put a ladybug on the texture and it was supposed to appear at the bottom, it would be split in two.
Yeah.
So what we do is we use an edge that's hidden from view that isn't going to matter. And for this letter E, we've got this edge running along the inside of the curve.
Where the white line is?
Sorry?
Where the white line is right now?
Yes, that edge that's selected. That's the edge that we want.
I'm looking at a huge TV screen, so this is better visual, by the way.
Right, okay.
This is like a 60, 80 inch screen.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So we've got this set of faces that loop around and up to the underside, inside of the letter E.
Under part almost. Okay, I see that now. Like where it rolls and meets the underside.
Yeah. But we also need to place an edge on the inside of the aperture because we need to put a break in that section as well. So it's these two edges essentially that are more or less aligned to one another. So that's this inside underside edge, and then this inside edge of this loop of this aperture, and those are the two edges that you want.
Yeah, that's like on the floor at a diagonal of the arch.
Well, it's not a diagonal. It's running straight across. It looks diagonal because of the position of the screen.
Yeah, it is straight across. Yeah.
It just runs straight across to the other side, and it's the same with the underside as well.
All right, let's try that.
So stop sharing.
Back to it. All right. So I'm going to do the aperture first, or try to.
Yeah.
Shift.
And this is this. We've had this question before in the past in terms of teaching and tutoring and stuff like that. Normally, this process isn't as protracted. Shall we use that word? Isn't as protracted as it normally is because although Zoom does allow you to screen share, Shannon and I can't do desktop control sharing. So these issues that we're talking about now, you would normally just solve those by saying, let me control your screen and I control the screen on the other side, or vice versa, depending on what was needing to be done. But we can't do that when we're streaming at the same time. It uses up far too much bandwidth. So you end up in this situation where you're trying to describe something as simple as this by what? What do you use to explain, well, I need you to click that edge across that edgy bit around the roundy bit? That makes absolutely no sense to anybody. So although it could be considered cheating, the quickest way to do these sorts of things is normally just to save the file and send it through, and then you do the desktop share so that they can see what you're doing, and then they act on that, because otherwise it's a nightmare. But this is only a handicap when you are doing a Twitch stream, because you just don't have enough bandwidth to do remote desktop sharing and Twitch at the same time. So we've had that question come up once or twice, and I just thought it was just an apropos moment to answer that historical question. Right, so continue.
All right, so I believe I got the arch here, right?
Yeah.
So do I need I need to mark seam,
You
right?
can mark seam, so mesh, edges,
Edges,
mark sharp,
mark.
mark seam, sorry. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
now I need to go to
yeah,
this funky spot here that you marked,
yeah,
which is like here. See if I get that right. Right. Okay, like that, right?
yeah,
So mesh, edges, mark seam, not mark sharp.
mark seam, yeah. Right,
All
so
right,
press the Z key,
Z. Okay.
and let's just double check. So press the A key just to deselect the...
Did I get it? Both of them?
Yep, that looks like it's got. So you did got it.
I did got good.
Yeah, you got it. Right,
We
so
know our here English.
yeah.
Grammar be good.
Yeah, edgy and roundy bits.
Close enough.
Right, so select all.
Select all here.
Yep.
Like,
Well, you can press the A
okay.
key.
I think it's just, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. But out of habit. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty golden shade.
Right, so actually, save the file.
So you don't want to live on the edge.
No.
All right, 21.
We only take calculated risks.
All right. Saved.
Right, so switch the layout to UV editing. So that's the strip across the top. Yep.
Boom.
Yep, so move the mouse over to the left-hand side, and press the E key, E for Edward.
There we go. Uh-oh. Looks like some E's need to be moved around. I see like four. Big, here, here, here.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Yep, so rotate the E.
This is reversed. The rest of this looks...
Yep, that's fine. That's fine.
Looks like it's inside.
Yeah, no, we'll leave that. We don't need to adjust that really. So select the two E sections and press the S key and just scale them up a little bit so that they are
half size.
No, a bit bigger. Keep going, keep going. About that size. That's it.
Okay.
And then press using your G key. Whoops, not that big.
Yeah, I was wondering. Okay, S key back.
Yeah.
To about like that. That's about...
You want them
50.
to be about half the height of the texture.
Okay. Oh, I'm forgetting that you're lagged here. So
yes.
you were like, no, that's
so
not it. I'm like,
yeah.
Whoop. All right. So this is about half. I'll leave it here until you see it.
So so I'm playing ketchup.
Technology getting in the way of our artist.
So what were they saying about email?
Meanwhile, email.
Meanwhile, somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So scale that down slightly. Basically, what you want is the height of the E's to be able to fit in the gap, the clear area of the texture that you've got, because you've got that long strip that's taking up all the a good substantial bit of the bottom.
Right. It's going to overlap unless you want me to shrink.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't want it. You want the E's to be smaller so that they occupy or will occupy the available space that you've got. So
then they're going to be about like this, I'd say. I'll let it show.
Yeah. Yep, that's about right. So left click.
It's going to be pushing it too. Okay.
And then select each in turn, press the G key, and just move them so that they don't intersect the bit at the bottom.
Oh, I hit G and they bounced up in size. Okay, I got to go back to S and scale them down, I think.
Or you can just do the undo, which is Control Z.
Oh. All right. All right. There we go. G. I may need to adjust the size.
Don't worry about that. That's just if you position them so that they are clear of the strip that runs along the bottom, you can then readjust them.
All right, let's move this up a little. I want to make sure it doesn't overlap. Let's move that a little too, just to make sure it's not running over. All right, so I can make these a little bigger if we need to.
Yes, so just
outside.
the E's, just the E bit, the bits that are corresponding to the E's, just make them slightly larger. So press the S key.
Okay. Let's select this one, move it a little here, and then we can make them bigger. Okay, just a tad bigger. Okay, then I got to move this. Oh, no, not the arc. Control Z. Okay, G. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
We move that a little. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Right. So leave everything else. That's fine. 3D view. Tab key. Exit edit mode.
Okay. Object.
Switch to default layout.
Okay.
Switch to texture mode so that we can see. So that's the sphere, this little spherical button to the right of object mode, edit mode selector. That's it.
Say texture?
Yep, texture.
Okay.
So
should I spin around?
Yep, view. Go to the view menu. View all this time.
There we go.
And save the file.
$22. All saved.
Excellent. Right, so switch back to the UV editing layout.
Okay.
Right, in the 3D view, select View, View All.
Okay.
Right, now we need to check the UV maps. So right-click the letter L.
Okay.
Switch to edit mode.
Tab.
Yep.
Edit.
Select everything. Everything is selected. That's okay.
Okay.
Yep. Exit edit mode. Make sure the mouse is over the 3D view itself, or use the selector. Select the heart. Right click. Do the same thing again. Switch to edit mode. We can probably make these bits a bit bigger. So if you scale them up, so select the heart sections and then scale those up so they're slightly larger. Maybe about half. Well, you could probably do about that. That's fine. That's fine. Exit edit mode. Yep. Object mode. Select the V. Edit mode. Switch to edit mode. That's it.
Yep.
Yep, that's okay. And then the E, which we just did. So switch to object mode. Edit mode. That's it. Excellent. That's fine.
Okay.
Right, so let me just.
This part looks almost done, if I dare say that.
Yes, it is. It is. It's almost done. Um, so what we need next, we need to do two things. Right. In the UV image editor, we need to do two things. So select everything in the UV image editor on the left. So press the A key.
Okay.
And then do it again.
Okay.
Right. Now, can you see those menu options in the bottom left? View, select, image, and UVs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click image and save as image. Right. This is called letter E PNG, which is fine.
Save it.
Yep, that'll be okay. Save that.
Okay.
Now, in the UVs menu, go all the way up to the top where it says Export UV Layout. Click that. Right, so you need to call this letter E underscore UV so that you know that it's the UV map. Or is this a letter? Yes, it is the letter E that we're doing. So UV map, that's okay. Enter. Don't save yet.
Enter.
On the left-hand side, where you've got the Export UV Layout, where it says Fill Opacity.
Fill opacity. There we go.
Yeah. Now, I can't remember if this is 0 or 1. Just type 1. So left-click and type 1.
Okay.
Enter.
Enter.
Now save the file.
Okay. Well, mine says export UV layout. It doesn't say save it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, export UV layout.
All right. Just in case that mattered. Exporting. Done.
Right. So we've done two things here. The image that we were using is a generated temporary session-based image. It's temporary data. So what we've just done is we've saved the data out and it's converted it into an actual bitmap image.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also saved out a bitmap or a wireframe of the mesh itself, which is the texture map that texture artists are looking for. Right, so now we've done that, 3D view,
Okay.
switch out of edit mode,
Yep.
select the letter V, edit mode, select everything, so that's E, sorry, not E, A. Oh, you wanted the
Control Z. Control Z.
it's Shift Control Z, isn't it, to return back to revert?
Shift Control Z. Nothing happened. What do I do?
If you go up to the top, the menu's at the top. There should be an. Oh no, it's not down. It's up there. It's down at the bottom.
Okay.
Bottom left. I think it's. Yeah, just click on View. Click on Select. No, the Select option. The Select menu option in the header.
There we go. Deselect, right?
No, we want Undo. Go into Image.
Okay.
There's nothing there. Go into UV. Hang on. You don't do anything yet. Let me just double check. So if I do Control Z. Yeah, so it should be Control Shift and Z should return you back to what it was that you just did, or what you
All right,
had.
I can try that. Let me try that again.
Yeah.
Okay. Control Shift Z.
Make sure the cursor is over the workspace. So do it again.
Control Shift Z. I don't see any change. I clicked over here. I'm on the left side, mind you. Control Shift Z. I'm not seeing any
So
change.
if do Control Z.
There we go.
There we go.
We're
That's
back.
it. Right. So
Right.
A key.
Okay.
And again.
There we go.
Right. Go down to the UVs menu. Export UV layout at the top. This is the letter V, so you want letter V underscore UV as the file name.
All right.
Letter V for Victor, yep.
All right. And then we need to go over here, right?
It's
no,
already
it's already set.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
So,
export.
yeah, click Export.
Done.
Right, in the image menu, we want Save as Image. That's letter V, but that's okay, yep, so click Save.
Letter V, UV, right?
No, we don't need UV, we just need letter V.
Yep, letter V.
Yeah.
Save. Okay.
So that's that done. 3D view, exit edit mode. On the right, yeah. And select the heart.
Okay.
Edit mode. And repeat the process. So UVs. Export UV layout. And call this, what was this called? Heart. Heart underscore UV.
All right, so I'll just call it heart underscore UV. We got it at 1, so export.
Yep, so export.
Okay, done.
Then again, image. Save as image.
Heart PNG.
Yep.
Saving. Done.
Right, so exit edit mode for that.
Okay.
Right click the L. Letter L. Edit mode. Select, that's it. UVs. Export UV layout. And this is obviously letter L underscore UV.
That's your L underscore UV.
Fill opacity is set to 1, that's okay. And then export. Then image. Save as image. And that's letter L, PNG, that's fine. Excellent. Save as.
Okay.
Exit
Saved.
edit mode. And switch the layout to default view. Right. From the view menu of the 3D view, not the lower one. You want the view menu associated with the 3D view that's directly below. That's it.
Right here, right?
Yeah. So select View Perspective Ortho or Persp Ortho.
Persp. Okay.
Then click that again, View. And Front.
Okay.
Right, so what we need to do now is duplicate the heart. Hang on, don't do anything.
Should I save this?
Yes, save the file whilst I'm just doing this.
Okay. Saved. Yes, the contest will begin once this is completed. To answer a question in the feed.
Right. I'm just going to switch. If you stop sharing, I'll just switch to...
All right, stopped.
Right, sharing with you. So we need to duplicate the heart shape.
Oh, right, and shrink them and whatnot.
Well, we don't need to do that just yet. What we need to do is duplicate the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do it in 2D just to make this. So that's our heart object. So we need to duplicate this and just roughly position all the duplicates in place first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we're doing. Just roughly position them.
And then we'll be done for the night.
No, not quite.
No?
And then once we've positioned them, we can then scale them. So obviously I'm doing this in 2D just for speed, but this is what we'll be doing in Blender. So you want to duplicate them first and then roughly or approximately position them. So duplicate them so you have the number that you need. And then once you've done that, then you can rescale them.
So it looks like we need like, what, 5?
So we've got the original, so that's 1. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional ones, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to outline it, and then we're going to copy it and move it.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Right, so if you share your screen.
Sharing. So
this might be a bit tricky because what you want to do is zoom out. Yes, that's it, and position the letters in a way that's conducive to what you're about to do.
So I think I need to edit mode and then start outlining the heart.
No, don't need to do anything in edit mode. This is all object mode, this. So right click the heart.
Yep.
From the object menu, you want duplicate objects. It's about third way up. That's it. Right. So that's an active object. Just move that into position approximately where you want it to be. Perfect. Do that again.
I can just copy off of this one,
yes,
can I?
You can, yes.
And I can move this like out of the way, right? And then we can play around with it. So I need 4 more copies of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm understanding it.
Yeah. So if you duplicate that, duplicate
There's
objects.
no way to do multiple duplicates, but
no.
Not a problem.
Well, no, you can't create duplicated. You can't create multiple objects from a single object.
This is true. I suppose that makes sense in hindsight. Okay, last one. All right, so we got 5. So now we can play around with
so now you can scale them, position them, rotate them, however you want.
All right, so I need to look at that image, but I seem to recall there was one here.
It doesn't have to be exact. Just exactly, just do it how you feel. But you do want a larger one closer to the word and smaller one eventually.
Right.
So they peter out, basically. That's what you're doing.
Right.
Right. So now you can scale them.
So I can recall the ones at which one was small? At the top, or we don't care?
The top, the one at the top, the furthest one. That's the smallest one.
Ah. Make this one a tad smaller. All right.
All right, and then rotate them.
Rotate them, meaning
yes. Rotate them around the front to back axis, so they're rescaled, but they're all the same orientation.
Okay. You're saying shift the hearts around a little, like so, and all that, like that?
Yeah.
Is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to give it some variety.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they should look more heart-like, I think, like turned on the, face up, so people go, "Oh, that's a heart." That would be good. It's going to need some more info. I'm going to have to move these later, I think.
Yes. Reposition any of them now that they've been rotated. You don't have to rotate them all so that they're approximately the same. You can rotate them to completely different angles if you want.
Okay. Let me just get them a little more. Okay, right there. All right. I'm going to get like a perspective on this, so let's turn it a little. Okay. And I'm going to rotate this one like so. Rotate that one a little more like that. Move that one.
You can make that one smaller.
Yeah. That.
Yeah. And then I guess fit it in the gap that you've got between the little one.
Yeah. Like there.
Yeah. As Hot Rod said, it's like little bubbles or balloons.
Okay.
Rotate the
I want to rotate these a little. Yeah. They look a little too clean. There.
Yep.
I want them to look like hearts, but I don't want them to look like straight hearts.
That's fine. That's perfect. Right. Save the file.
Number 24.
She better. Hot Rod's just said, I think Jinx will love it now. She better do.
Better. It's like when she said, "I don't think that fence looks good." And it was like, "Oh, that took over an hour to fix." Yeah. Remember?
This won't take long. This is easy.
Now I totally get when a Metro complains, "You made me redo that." I have felt their pain.
This will be easy. It's just a piece of text and some parts.
It's going to take a few minutes. No, it's going to take 70 minutes, actually. All for a fence. Side.
Right. So, we've saved the file.
File saved. I think I'll stop sharing now.
Yeah.
Because we're about done. And just to be extra paranoid, I'll send this to you too, just in case.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going forward for poses.
Oh, I don't know. we won't
Yeah.
have time for
I
that.
mean, I'm only going to have an hour before my meeting on Thursday,
Yeah, no,
unfortunately.
we won't. I don't think we're going to have time to do any poses at all with this.
So that might be you. That might be on
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Poses by Jazz Cat.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we did get the basic mesh done.
yeah,
Unfortunately, we may have needed a little more time, but I think it's more important to get it done by the end of the week so that people have 2 weekends to work
yeah,
on this.
yeah,
Rather
yeah.
than, rather than
That'll be
say, hey,
fine.
I did this, but you have 4 days before the contest
Yeah,
is end.
yeah.
That
That's
seems
not
pretty
going to
fair.
go down too well.
I mean, I think 2 weeks is kind of barely enough, as we talked about.
Yeah,
So I'd rather it be like my mesh and kind of your mesh,
yeah,
rather than totally my mesh, but it took a long time. And yeah, so the risks you take when meshing.
yeah. Very true. Very true.
.com, of course.
Yeah. Uh,
All right.
yeah. So that's basically that is essentially the mesh is pretty much done. It's now ready for export as a. If it were to be a simple furniture item, we could export it and do that relatively quickly. I mean, with that could be done on Thursday. I mean, so that might be something that we actually do, is create a very basic furniture item with it, so that it is just a mesh and a furniture node, so that you've gone through that process of exporting. But then, yes, we are just not going to have enough time for you to actually add the poses, so we'll have to figure something out with that. So.
Well, you've got lots of feedback on the poses, though.
Yes, I know.
Don't you
Yeah, I
worry.
saw them.
Aislin's gunning for a particular pose, like non-stop.
Yeah.
Better be ready.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we'll do that on Thursday. We'll just so that you've gone through the process of exporting and you have a base mesh
Yeah.
that
I
you.
mean, I think I'll be on by 4 because I reserved the room
Yeah,
quarter to 4, so
that's
it'll be
fine.
set up.
That'll be
But
more
I
than enough
think I
time.
have to. You have to leave a little before 5, so I'm gonna have less than an hour, just as an
Yeah,
FYI.
that'll be more than enough time.
Yeah, and then when it's complete and I hear from you, then we can
Yeah,
push it through.
yeah.
So.
Of course, because you know who Chairman Meow isn't here, we can do whatever we want.
That's right. And if she comes complaining about it, we'll just go,
Well,
it's too late.
yeah,
It's
it's too
up
late.
now.
It's
And
been done. That's what happens when you miss the show.
yeah, you missed the show. And I'll just tell her to talk to you if she keeps pushing. So. Because you're not in person. She has to email you and ping you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank
Thursday.
you very much for everybody who stayed the extra hour.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. We did an extra hour to make up sort of for the Thursday.
Yeah.
So an hour.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll wrap up the basic mesh, and then I'll hand the poses off to you.
Yes.
With little regret.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll try to act regretful, but
yeah,
it won't.
Try to. Yes, it's humility and all that.
Yeah, it'll be bad acting.
Yeah. I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's been good. I think in the future, you and I will personally have to talk about the next mesh and just give ourselves a lot more time than we think we need.
Yeah.
I think we have hiccups and other things. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like at the most a mesh every quarter, right? Like every 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
Based on what's going on.
Well, yeah, because that gives everybody time to, derive and do the competition or contest in a way that's fair to everybody.
So maybe something in the summer, like IMVU Pride or something like that, or
Yeah. Well,
like
yeah. I mean, if anybody's got any ideas for that, then I guess These are tentative, of course.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm just thinking IMVU Pride is traditionally something that people on IMVU really like, right?
yes, yeah.
And it encompasses all over the world. Whereas if I were to suggest, wait for it, 4th of July to a British person, that's an American thing, right?
Well,
So
it's fair. I mean, you know,
too narrow.
it's okay.
Yeah,
Don't
but
really.
I think IMVU Pride speaks to a lot more people
Yeah,
on IMVU in general,
yeah,
unless it's a better one in the summer, right? I mean, that's the one that comes to mind for me.
yeah.
That seems like it's not a guarantee we'll do it. I'm just thinking aloud that
What is
that's the one.
Liana's said St. Patrick's Day? That's another international one.
That's going to be in March.
Is it?
I think that's too
All
close.
right.
Well, for us, March.
Is it? Is it March? Wow, that's soon.
Yeah, I think it's like mid-March.
Okay. Well,
So
yeah.
that won't be enough time.
Yeah. No. Well, this is. I mean, Valentine's is February, March. So yeah, I guess the next one would be summer. So the Pride stuff or something
Right.
to do with summer. So yeah.
And I personally think if we're going to do like IMVU Pride is that's like in June, from what I recall, right? Off the top of my head, I think it's June-ish.
Right.
So
So what is
probably
it?
want to start
February,
planning
March,
now,
April, May, June. Yeah, so that's
right.
fine. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Give ourselves more time rather than rushing it like this one. But
Yeah.
but yeah, send me. I mean, I'll think about it. You think about it. Just email each other. You have my email in case we need to remind each other about it because that's months down the road. But.
Yeah. So if anybody's got any suggestions for the item itself in terms of what kind of thing can be done, then contact or yeah, just messages, I guess. Or have some ideas for the next session, which is Thursday.
Yeah, Easter's going to be in April, I think.
Yeah, so it's too soon. Too soon.
I think that's
Too
still
soon.
too close. Yeah, we need something. We need something that's in the summer, more or less.
Yeah, that's fine. So ideas for items for Pride.
Yeah.
Yep. So right. Till on Thursday. Thursday's the next session, so we shall see you on Thursday. And
thanks everyone.
Yeah, and the prize winners will be getting something for the Buglies thing. I'll be sending that through as soon as I can. So Thursday. Bye for now.
All right, bye everyone.